Hello?
Fire those cannons!
Let's get them going.
Let's go!
Boom. Boom.
I've always been a Bucks fan.
Yeah, I mean, going back, for quite a few years, back into the 70s. Get that hand sanitizer on.
I do have hand sanitizer and a lot of it. I used to buy it before all this happened.
Now you're just like ahead of the curve. Like with the scalpel.
What?
The scalpel curve.
How those kits selling, by the way?
Good. Still selling.
Where are you guys racing them at?
And we don't ever race them.
Oh, you don't go down to, I don't know, Superior Hobbies and sell them or race them?
No, there's no racing it for them. It's strictly just bashers.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no tracks in the area that just, hey, all right,
Nope.
scalpel class up next.
Nope.
Huh. Strange. If they sell good, why wouldn't there be any races?
There's just people don't care about doing that. They just get the stuff, the bumper, the body, and they just go thrash it.
Yeah, but they just thrash short course trucks, but they race them.
I guess.
I have to do a little bit more research on this.
Okay. Need that meme. Was it Will Smith, right?
Yeah. Is it Will Smith? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Will Smith. Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. So how you been? What's going on?
Doing well. Just over here at work and getting a lot of stuff. Getting a lot of stuff caught up.
Let me ask you this: are you down in Florida? There, are you allowed to be open? Or are you doing it illegally?
I think we're allowed to be open.
All right. As of today in Pennsylvania, just a few hours ago, they shut down at non-life essential businesses.
Okay.
So, 8:00 tonight, they have to shut down until further notice. So I ran to the barbershop quick. That's what I was doing. That's why I was late.
Wow.
I'm like, oh my God, I got to go get my hair cut quick because it might be who knows how long till they reopen. And he made that announcement. I think it was around 4:00 here. He made the announcement. You should see the grocery stores, dude. I mean, they're going to be open, but the people are panicking.
Yeah.
Panic.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to make of the whole thing other than it is spreading pretty damn fast.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at any of those graphs that people show about how much the social distancing impacts everything, it's pretty substantial.
And
it has a big impact. That's why all these professional sports and leagues and anything, why they are shutting down, because they knew, they got the heads up and they knew where they would be at if they kept going, and they knew the writing was on the wall. They had the heads up, I'm sure, from people more knowledgeable about everything, and they were said, you know what, you might as well do it now, because so I'm pretty hopeful, positive that we'll get this thing turned around here pretty quickly.
Yeah, I hope so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty hopeful.
Now, how much has it affected RC? I know last time we had you on the pod, you were saying like it really wasn't, affecting you guys too much. But then later on, you did cancel that race?
No, it is the race in Vegas. It is. Well, it's postponed.
Postponed. Okay. Yeah.
So we picked another date that we'd like to have it. But yeah, I think we were talking on the last podcast, we were talking about how China being affected had slowed down RC, which it had. It had slowed everybody down a little bit. But yeah, then spreading into the US and getting all this stuff, it's going to slow down a lot of tracks, a lot of tracks that run indoor races and a lot of tracks that run outdoor races. I kind of feel like there's going to be still a good amount of RC activity because we have so many things like that you can still do you can do by yourself. So I think people are going to want to be wrenching. They're going to want to work on cars, build cars, paint bodies, because it gives you something to do. Mm-hmm. And if you are stuck at home or whatever the case may be, it's a great thing to do at home.
Yeah. Wrench, put a podcast on. Yeah.
So I think that is what I'm thinking that's going to be a good thing, and kind of keep some things going, especially like, there's events for the scale trucks and the drag racing's become a big thing now, and a little more one-on-one type activities, with those, I see a lot of people, and it's already the most, what did we call it? The segment I think is the largest or the most growing is the scale truck stuff. And I see this having an even larger impact on that. That it might help that segment even more. And then what I could see happening is if some of these indoor tracks, you got to be smart the way they're doing things, right? So like what I was thinking one day, I was like, all right, so if I had an indoor track, you start limiting how many people you can have in the same area. You might be able to race multiple days a week and have less people sign up, right?
Oh, that's true. Well, see,
so you might, I think, you said, like you, if they're get every business, not essential, non-life, threatening or whatever, if they're shutting down everything, then it just doesn't matter. But if you are allowed to operate with less people, then that could be big. You could say it's 10 people. You could register people, 10 people, race like 3 classes. Tell them, hey, race as many classes as you want.
Yeah, because I think the number is 10.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you could, and I don't know. I mean, to me, you'd want to keep doing something. So it's like, all right, we'll do, sign up for Tuesday, sign up for Wednesday, sign up for whatever your day is. And you could do pre-signups for your racing and just do it in different, smaller groups.
I was watching that video that Chad Brockman put out at More RC that, he's only allowed 10 people in. So I guess he was staggering, like you can sign up for practice. He was calling, so 10 people could come in, practice, and then they have to, I guess you have to leave, go outside, and then the next 10 could come in. Isn't that nuts? Yeah. Remember I was telling you in the chat, I'm like, this is crazy. I can't believe it. Like, but that's the only way he can get around it, by just letting 10 in, taking 10 out, bring the next one in, next group in. To keep the practices going.
Yeah, and I think one thing that would be interesting is, while this is going on, is to make some notes. I think you might learn some things about the business too when all this is happening, to see if there is a different way to do some things, a different angle you could take, slightly different approach, whatever the case may be. There might be, different ways to do stuff, that if this is kind of forcing you to do something or try something, then it's like all of a sudden, whoa, this actually could work on a different scale. And that's kind of the way I'm thinking about this stuff a little bit. And I could also see people, we've talked about before, one of the things I feel that would be nice to have more of again is some of the backyard tracks. And I could see people, getting into a little bit of that, building some more backyard tracks for themselves, and if they're buddies or whatever. And we need that anyway, And I was thinking about it. I've thought about it for a long time, building a track
in your backyard.
Not my backyard, but I don't have a big enough backyard for that. I could do an RC monster truck. I could do an RC monster truck track, probably.
Oh, there you go. That'd be cool. Go over Ruona's.
I was thinking like 100 feet long, 50 foot deep, off-road dirt track, and putting that at my parents' house, kind of by my dad's shop. I kind of I've always wanted to do it.
Wow. You're still in negotiations with your dad? The price is too high.
No, they're not a fan. They're not a big fan of the idea, but
they're not a big fan of RC.
No, they like RC. But they're not a big fan of that idea, but I always kind of, I don't really give them a choice when I talk about it. I'm like, so when we put this track over there, they're like, what do you mean? They're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, make sure. I always tell my dad, I'm like, if you're selling your equipment, don't sell this or that, because if I want to build a track, I'm going to need that to build a track. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I've told them to keep some of the equipment that's good for track work and maintenance. So, and and I want to do it. It's like I kind of want to do it as like almost a, not so you can race every week and that type of thing, but almost like so you can video it and say, okay, this is how you can build a track, and kind of go through the steps on what building like a backyard track would look like, so you get your area together, you get your dirt, you have your driver stand, you just kind of show how it's done. So people, so you have that kind of always in your back pocket of almost like a tutorial or something like that. It's like, I kind of want to do it just so you have the footage, the video showing how it's done and how it's built, and then you can run on it too. But just sort of a step-by-step guide on kind of what it would take to do it.
You're like, look, clowns, this right here is how you build a backyard track.
This is how you do it. Yeah, I mean, that's part of it.
I've seen some YouTube videos out there like that.
I'm sure there is. I've bumped into a couple, but yeah, I think it'd be fun. Kind of a fun project. So,
well, get on that. Go over to Pops and start digging up that yard.
I'll be like, well, what's going on over here? What are you doing?
Calls the cops.
Nothing. Nothing going on over here.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Please disperse.
Yeah, I mean, I just, I kind of have all these, I guess, my own vision of and theories about building something that's manageable, yet not, doing anything is, there's going to be a cost involved, but I think you could do it reasonably priced and it would be fun and the size would be manageable. So, I think a lot of times people build the track too big. and then they get into trouble working on it because it's such a laborious task.
Right.
So, yeah, one of these years.
Problem is, everybody's going to want to go to Ruona's race, though. You can have this huge crowd.
Yeah.
And right now, you're only allowed 10.
Right. Including yourself.
Right. Is it including yourself? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I would.
I don't know. So. Do I need to count myself in that? That'd be a good question for the governor.
Yeah, I think it's 10 total. I mean, they're not going to figure it 10 than you, right?
Is 10 people? I wonder if 10 people are allowed in my house right now. If I had 10 people here, like if 11, like so, I would be 11. You know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. They need some clarification on this. It was 25, and I think it went down to 10, and then, but I don't know. Like if I have, if I have a party at my house, I can't have 10 people in here, right? Or, right. Because I'm 11, so I would need 9 people plus me.
Well, you'd need to leave.
Yeah. Gladly.
Yeah.
All right,
man. Well. This is a great party, but we would like for you to leave.
No problem.
I can't even remember the last party I went to like that.
Oh,
went to somebody's house for a party. I guess in my 20s. I guess like holiday stuff, but that's like a family get together, right?
Oh, you went to a Super Bowl party, didn't you? Because you were watching. I think it was the Falcons and Patriots.
Is that what it was? Falcons?
Atlanta Falcons, Patriots.
Where was I after that?
I don't know, because you were like someone's house watching it, and they had everything there, and you're like, you know, texting me back and forth about the game and stuff, and I'm like, wow, Jason's watching the Super Bowl, and you're like, well, I'm at a party. So, you know.
I could have been.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one, but...
Man, I don't remember the last time I was at one. It's got to be in my 20s.
My 20s.
Seriously. No joke. I avoid those things at all costs. Unless my fantasy football draft was considered a party. I guess that was, so, because there was food there and everything. And that was
yeah.
You know, and then, yeah, there was definitely, it was definitely like a party atmosphere, and then we had the draft. So, yeah, over the summer. Okay.
That was over the summer when you did that?
Well, yeah, August. So, yeah. So I guess, probably so I was like 22, and then August of this year. Or last year. Twice. So anyway, so yeah, crazy. RC is so is that the only race like has it been affected so far by this? Has there been any other ones is there anything coming up that's in danger?
I'm in danger. Yeah, there's been a lot that's been affected so far, I think.
Oh, really? There's been other cancellations out there? Mm.
Yeah, Cyclone Nitro Blast, that has been postponed.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Our race, of course, in Vegas for this week is postponed. Then next week, our Spring Dirt Oval race.
Who'd have thought this one?
And you know, and there's going to be more. You know, there's definitely going to be more of them. You know, I think, like you said, or like we were talking about earlier, I think there's definitely going to still be RC action. I think everyone just kind of has to, you know, be confident and comfortable that they can, you know, still do their wrenching and find somewhere to play with the vehicles. You know, even this weekend I was considering, like, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll go get out my Associated Enduro scale truck and go try it out. You know, with some of the new stuff. You know, Rich ran it recently at an event, but I'd kind of like to, you know, do it myself. So I'll check with Paul, see what he's doing. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he might even go do some racing this weekend. So there's going to be some stuff going on.
Yeah, but how can you get much action going on if you're limited to 10 people?
I don't know. What do they do to you if you go over 10 people?
Well, that's the other question I have. Like, what happened? Like, how are they going to find out, first of all?
Mm-hmm.
But there is a liability there, though, if somebody does get sick, I think. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, well, hey, I was at, Ruona's backyard racing, and there was 30 of us there. And,
30?
Next thing you know, they're like, hey, you're not supposed to have more than 10 at this thing. I don't know. I don't know how they catch you. I don't know. Good question.
I like how he got caught.
Yeah.
Got caught having a get together.
Yeah. How's that happen? We should get the governor of Florida on the line here. What's his number?
Buddy Dyer. I know he's the mayor of Orlando. Buddy Dyer.
I see. Spring break is still going on down there like crazy. I mean, the kids are everywhere, all over the beaches. They didn't close the beaches down, did they?
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No, it's crazy.
Well, we got. Did you hear that?
Switch some gears. Something more. We got to get off the depressing issue.
No kidding.
I said we're going to try and put some podcasts out since everybody's in quarantine. Try and get some episodes out for everybody to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And not be so depressing. So we'll just try and switch gears. And
we're working on the undepressing side right now.
Well, it is. I mean, hey, look, you turn on a TV, it's all you hear. You go, ESPN, that's it. It's all, obviously all the sports shut down. So that's all they're talking about. I mean, was it yesterday? What's today? I don't even know what today is. Thursday. Is it today's Thursday? Yeah. So Wednesday started the free agency period, and it was a welcome distraction, but unfortunately Tom Brady went to the Bucs. So it was like bittersweet. It was bittersweet for me. It was like, oh yeah, I woke up, I'm like 4 p.m. today, free agency starts, even though we kind of knew where everybody was going because legal tampering was open on Monday. So you're allowed to contact the guys you wanted. And everybody started committing already. But still, it's exciting. It's free agency. It was something different in the news for me. And I'm sure others out there. But then, we lost Tom Brady. To the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Which, they're going to be legit, dude. They're going to be legit. They have offensive weapons, that's for sure. And, but wow, I couldn't believe it. It's like 2020 has been a bad year.
Well, here's the thing. If they play.
That's the other thing too, right? If this goes on, some are predicting past July. This whole, it can't go that far. Like you were saying, hopefully this gets over quick here. We're able to weather the storm here and end it quickly because, man, not only just sports and stuff, just the economy. Holy shit.
Yeah. Disaster central.
Yeah. Jobs being lost. Hell, nobody would be spending money then. So we got to get over it quick. Quarantine yourselves. They said the next 2 weeks are crucial. So we got to social distance. What are they calling it? Social distancing.
Distancing.
And you got to do it here because they want to flatten the curve. And if we don't do it, we're in trouble. But yeah. Anyway.
What was on the last show? When was the last show?
The last show, sir, was February 27th. And we talked about the Chili Bowl.
Motorama.
Yeah.
Probably. And
boy, those races just got right under this whole thing, didn't they? I mean,
and Dirt Nitro Challenge, yeah. Ultimate Truck Expo. So we did have the Desert Classic and Buggy Mania. We had those two races.
Buggy Mania. So how'd they go?
Yeah. Desert Classic, we sent Thomas out there, and he had that's out the Hobby Action, Chandler, Arizona. And let's see, Dakota TQ'd and won 4-wheel drive, and he won mod truck, and then Ty Tessman won 2-wheel drive. Mayfield got second in 2-wheel and 4-wheel, and Spencer got third, I believe, in everything, all three classes. So it was actually a good race for us. We got to try a few things. The guys ran well. Spencer had been on a really big roll there, winning probably the last 3 or 4 races there in 2-wheel drive. He had been pretty dominant, winning, including the Nationals when it was there. But this time, he had to settle for some thirds. And then Mayfield, who traditionally doesn't do very well there, just one of the tracks he hasn't been able to get a handle on. He had a good race. Got second in 2-wheel and 4-wheel, and it's just a tough surface. They always put in a nice track. The facility is like one of the cleanest around, nicest looking, kind of the best area. One of the best areas. It's just a really difficult track for most that don't run on it in terms of the surface. But that's what always has kind of bothered Mayfield there is the surface. He's never really kind of gelled with it. And, he's had success. It's not like he's like in the B or the C main. He's always like in contention, but just never seems to put enough good runs together to do as well as he'd like. And I think this time he looked very, very competitive, and they did some different. We went to the silver compound tires this time, and that really seemed to benefit him in terms of his consistency. So that was a good thing. And they had a pretty good turnout. I want to say they had like 275 entries, something like that, which I think is pretty good. I think you want anywhere from 3 to 350. I think if you're anywhere close to 3, I think you're doing pretty well. So they had got through that. Then last weekend they had Buggy Mania, which is they've only had one Buggy Mania event so far in the U.S., and that was at Thunder Alley. I think that was the end of 2019. They had one at Thunder Alley, and a lot of the California, Arizona guys went, and they kind of popped this one on us.
Oh,
it was about a little over a month advance that we, found out about the race, and we're like, oh, well, we'll check the calendar. And Paul went down and supported the team. I stayed back at work here, got some stuff done, and then I went down Sunday evening and was able to practice with the guys on Monday. We did some tire running.
Testing?
Testing, training. We have determined that if you can influence the product at all by changing it or developing it, you can call it testing. If you can't do that, it's practice.
Oh.
So technically I should be able to say that we were testing.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Sir.
Fair enough, sir. So, yeah, that's what we did. Went well. I think we mounted between Jackson and Paul and what we had left over from other races and stuff, from over the weekend. I think we got to run 12 or 14 different sets of tires. Just kind of run through all the compounds again and kind of verify things that we've been making notes of for the past year or whatever. So that was definitely a good thing for us to do. And and it's just nice to get out to the track. Honestly, it was nice to just get out there and it not being a race. You didn't have to be concerned about, are we racing, or you just you can hang out with the guys and try different things. And there's no you're not, the competition or of an event or whatever is not really breathing down your throat. You know what I mean?
Down your neck.
Yeah.
Down your throat.
Well, yeah. How does that work? Breathing down your neck. Yeah. You're not breathing down your throat.
Gosh, I hope not.
Well, especially in these times.
Yeah, right.
That would definitely not be practicing
exactly
safe interaction.
That's not social distancing.
Yeah. Could you imagine going back in the 70s and the 80s and telling people that, you can't have that many people together?
I see the reporters on TV now. They set up a microphone stand and do the interview from 6 feet plus away on TV, like the news stations. And the one guy was holding, like a stick, like he had the microphone on the end of a pole and he's holding it, interviewing. The guy was like, man, this is crazy times.
Well, let's finish that race. We'll finish this,
go ahead.
This race
right.
Before we sidetrack back into that, because I was gonna bring up that I saw where they were doing the WWE.
Oh yeah,
and the thing you sent me was Stone Cold, and he's out there doing his thing, catching the beers, and there's nobody.
Really an odd moment. Yeah. So
crappy, man. Because that's just his thing, man, is just so great getting out there. And then they throw him the 2 beers and he catches them, and that's so great.
Yeah. It's man, is it different without fans? Of course we knew it would be, but man, watching it, SmackDown and Raw taking place at the Performance Center with no fans. Whew. And get back to the race, but yeah, and you heard about WrestleMania, right?
Well, so I think you posted it in there, and I meant to kind of look at the link, but I don't know.
It's going to be supposedly be held at the Performance Center. Okay, no fans, and it's a 2-day event, so they're breaking it up in 2 days, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, so it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be at, what's the Performance Arts Center? What is that?
WWE has a performance center in Orlando, Florida, where they train the wrestlers.
Okay.
And they held NXT events there. And it's just a small arena. And that's where they had SmackDown recently and Raw with no fans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So WrestleMania is going to be at the same spot. There is rumors of another, maybe on the second day they do it at a different location, but still there's not going to be any fans. So, but yeah, so WrestleMania is a 2-day event now and no fans. It's going to be totally, wow. What are you going to do?
Well, what you almost have to do, what's kind of funny.
You better get back to that race.
Okay, so yeah, let's go. I got another thing there
because I'm not editing this up. So
so back to the race, Buggy Mania. They got about 142 entries. We just put up the race report on it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, for what was going on in a first inaugural.
I can't say it, so don't worry.
Inaugural race. I think that's
It's
what
one
it
of
is.
those freaky words like rounds.
Inaugural. There you go. So for it being one of those, it was a good event. And you know what, it's a combination of Joey Christensen from the Dirt.
Oh, okay.
And I gotta look up his name for some reason. Anyway, from the guy from Spain that has a big buggy land race in Spain.
Oh.
So they come together and produces Buggy Mania. And they're both there. So we got Joey from California, and then we got, I think it's Miguel. I believe that's what his name is. I have to verify it. But he comes over from Spain, and they kind of jointly put this race on. And the weather couldn't have been better. I mean, they had the perfect weather.
Not too hot.
Not too hot, but it was like sunny.
Oh, nice.
And no rain at all. And I mean, those guys had to go down there to Fort Lauderdale and just be thinking, this is amazing. I can't believe you guys have this kind of weather. And it's like,
Florida's awesome.
Yeah. They're just thinking, I'm moving here. This is it. So.
Yeah, you might not want to do that because May comes around, then June, July.
Yeah. And then you're just like, oh man, what happened? But yeah, I mean, they had a great experience, and the racing went well. We had Jackson Brunson, Julian Oliveris. We just put up the race report on this.
Okay. Go to what's your website again? JConcepts what?
Jake.net. That's it.
Okay, that's it. And your YouTube channel?
Yeah, we got YouTube as JConcepts Live.
Yeah. Okay. Just getting that out there, in case you guys didn't know already.
JConcepts Inc. on Facebook. JConcepts. I think is it just JConcepts? I think on Instagram. One of
you guys are on there too?
We're on the gram. Yeah.
Oh, you're on the gram?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, we got our race team update. Why is this guy calling me? Anyway, Dave. Yes, we got a current race team update here on the blog, which goes over to Facebook, and then this report about the race we just ran that just dropped. So if people want to read on the winners, but we'll kind of run through our champs here. So we got 5 wins at Buggy Mania. JConcepts takes 5 wins. So Julian Oliveris ended up winning the big class Pro Nitro Buggy, which was great. Cole Ogden was probably the most pro level driver racing, and he was doing very well, winning the main, and had some problems. I don't know, something went haywire, receiver or something. I don't know, but. Our guys were kind of beneficiary of that, but hey, you know what?
We'll take it.
What do they say?
That's racing.
That's racing.
It's racing.
So, yep. So we got that. Got that win, Julian. Then we had Luis Perez winning Open Nitro Buggy. And we kind of did this report a little different, where we got a little quote from the driver, and the product that they used, which was nice. Nelson Garcia Open Electric Buggy, he won that. Electric Truggy, Alfredo Morales. Jackson Brunson won Electric Buggy. And then, of course, we already got into Julian's winning the big Nitro Buggy main. So, yeah, Paul loved going down there for the race, and then I went down there for the test afterwards, and we still had great weather the day after. So, and this was kind of in the middle of all the stuff going on. And what was funny is just being at the track, how it was nice because people really didn't discuss it or worry about it as much. It was more just like everyone was doing their thing. concentrating on their racing and hanging out with their buddies like normal. And it was actually like really cool. And then when I went there, it was kind of like more of the same.
And then Jason's like, "Did you guys hear about the virus?"
They're just like, "What?" No. But yeah, it's all those things combined.
Oh, please tell me, please.
They painted the infield.
Well, did they?
Yeah.
Great. Love that. Please tell me the awards was like a WWE belt.
No.
Oh, that would have been perfect for Buggy Mania.
I know I don't think they have thought about that yet. Or the cost of buying the belts, which is, somebody tagged me one day in.
Well, they could just make something nice. You don't have to buy an actual belt.
Like a cardboard cutout.
Cardboard cutout with tinfoil.
What's the to me, when I think of the WW, I'll say WWF. When I think of the WWF Championship belt, I think of the Hogan one from the 80s and I couldn't really draw it or sketch, but to me, there's something about it that to me is just like the quintessential championship belt. And it's like, I'll have to find a picture of the one I just consider like the belt, you know? Yeah. So you'd make one kind of like that. Oh, so anyway, I had somebody tag me on Facebook for a page where they sell award belts.
Okay.
I think it was Russ Bryan, actually. He's like, look, he goes, it'd be so cool if you made belts for these, for some races where you win and you could win the belt. I'm like, it would be neat.
Well, one of your RC races did that. I forget which one it was, but
yeah, we gave away some, I think, on the podcast, but the way they did it was like how you were describing, like you basically did a cutout and a sticker on it that looks like a belt.
Right. Yeah.
That's how the one that we gave away, I think, like, I want to say it was a JR Mitch won it or something.
Okay.
Championship belt. Let's look at this.
It's like the one, like we used to make them in school out of cardboard and aluminum foil.
Did you?
Yeah, we used to just make them all, come to school then, look at a belt I made, and then some other dude would make them, and, you compare them and stuff. But yeah, you'd cut them out of cardboard and
that kind of, I never
get some
had
aluminum foil. Oh, come on.
Nobody ever did that.
You didn't have a good childhood then like I had.
Yeah. If you made your own championship belt, you had a great childhood. That
so then
be a meme.
Everybody, we would make these belts and then you'd wrestle out on the playground and pretend you're wrestling and then try and get the belt, So yeah, we would do that. And then, like I said, I was doing that in sister school. So Catholic school. So they would, the wrestling matches wouldn't go too long before they would grab you and then smack the hell out of you. And they would take the belt then. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Man, I would not deal well with that.
Yeah, it was tough. I got in trouble all the time.
But you survived.
I survived. Yeah, I survived. I got a lot of trouble. Anyway.
I'm gonna make sure I can attach the correct photo here. I found the quintessential championship belt.
Quintessential. I could say that word, but I can't say inaugural.
What's the other one I saw one day that's very hard? Worcestershire.
Oh, well, come on now. That is hard.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you change your name, right? If that's your sauce, like, you know what I mean? Why wouldn't you change it?
Yeah, good question. Because it's too hard to say.
Yeah, maybe they feel like
it's
Worcestershire. Yeah, maybe they feel like
you send me.
If that adds to it. Maybe they feel like that adds to it. That's it, baby. That's the quintessential.
That belt was nice.
championship. To me, that's the one. Like, if I was to go to his, well, it's his wrestling shop now. It's not a beach shop.
Well, they don't have that on display there?
They do.
Oh, okay.
I should probably look at my photos. I probably have a photo of it.
Yeah, you should have a photo with it.
And they sell some of the belts there too, and I think they're probably not like the
replicas.
Not like replicas.
But they're still like $300 though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what was amazing is when I went there and to that signing he had, a lot of people were in line, had the belts.
Yeah, they spend the money, man.
Yeah, like they were there and they brought their stuff to have him sign it. And a lot of people, doing that shoulder carry, right?
Yeah.
Which is just, that's like the way, that was so great. Like when he used to carry it like that.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So Buggy Mania went well, and it was a nice relief kind of going down, running with the guys. And I'd like to do some more of it. I've kind of, while we're kind of on this sabbatical. Is it a sabbatical?
Yeah, I guess you could. Okay, you can call it whatever you want.
What's the other word that starts with an H? We're going over the vocabulary right now.
Oh man, terrible. I'm terrible with that. Terrible at pronouncing.
Hiatus. Yeah. So there's the sabbatical.
Oh, that starts with an H? Oh, cool. All right. Guess it would. Hi. I say the word comet. Comet. Like comet, like the star shooting.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you comment on something, it's comet?
Yeah, if you listen when I say yeah, comet. 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 Some people catch on to that, but not many. They let it go. If they do hear it, they just let it go. But
I haven't caught on to that.
Yeah. And then, I've struggled with a lot of words, but.
All right. So oh, wow. So a sabbatical is a period of paid leave granted to a university teacher or other worker for study or travel.
Well, then it's not that.
That's not a sabbatical.
It's a hiatus.
It's a hiatus.
It's a hiatus.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Quarantined.
Here we go. Hiatus.
I've been doing this quarantine for years.
A pause or gap in a sequence, series, or process. So yeah, hiatus. It's a gap. Sabbatical means we were getting paid. Y'all are getting paid?
Yeah, we're not getting paid. Well, we are, but we're not.
The pro athletes get paid.
Yeah.
Well, so we kind of had a tangent we were working on. What was that about again?
Oh, are you talking about wrestling?
Yeah, is that what it was?
What was it about? Oh, the WrestleMania.
So that's what we were getting into.
I have no idea. I forget.
Yeah, there was a we had a sidebar that had another story attached to it, but we'll think.
Yeah, you wanted to get back to it. See what happens. We should have just finished it off, and then
went right into it.
Right.
That's what you get for trying to be organized.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like trying to do that. It's just.
And here's the news.
Oh man, our first podcast, we're just like, I'm not good with formatting. There's other they're great at it, but
personally, I would like to. I would think it would be fun to do that, but I can do it. I could do it both ways.
Yeah, we can. I mean, it was just for fun, man. It'd be cool to do. Like,
well, yeah, it'd be kind of like a fun joke.
We had a little intro, and then I used to write this down, and then okay, news. Then we'd go through the news and just grab it off Live RC, and it sounded.
It's like,
so
Gotti,
corny,
we have 11 minutes. We have We have 11 minutes reserved. We have 11 minutes reserved for this section. So,
well, I used to be like, okay, Kirby, let's do this for like maybe 15 minutes. And then I would break things into like 15 minutes or so and then figure, okay, the show should be about an hour and 15 long if everything goes well. And, I can't operate like that. I just like to turn the mic on and just have a conversation. But yeah, a lot of podcasts do that, and they're good at it. I'm just not good at that stuff. I don't know. To be fair, I'm probably not good at this either. But I'm more comfortable. That's what I should say.
Everyone's like, wait.
I'm more comfortable doing it this way. I was like, God, this is so corny.
Some dudes are like, some going, good.
Good. Yeah, good. This podcast is trash. Oh, man. Gotta love it. But yeah, and we used to do some crazy things for 2012 and 13. Like just, I guess like you said, it was a lot of motivation maybe, but I used to take phone calls.
Well, what's funny is
I used to do phone calls in 2013, dude.
What's kind of funny a little bit about all that stuff is I noticed, like we've talked about, there's a lot of podcasts out there now for RC. And I see them doing a lot of those type of things, and I kind of laugh because it's like, man, we were doing that like 6 years ago.
Yeah, it is something, man. Like, I can't believe I did it. First of all, editing was a nightmare, but especially when I was starting out, I didn't know much about how to edit stuff. I'd watch YouTube videos, but getting all those calls edited. I mean, we did a Christmas show with like 20 some people, and I edited that all up to make it just seem like these guys were entering the party. Like we had this big party, and Joel Johnson showed up, knocked at the door. It was just crazy, the stuff that we did for back then. And I don't know what happened. I guess you said I lost my motivation, maybe, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably part of it.
But it just becomes a lot of work also, though. And it's like, yeah.
Well, it has to be fun.
I have fun doing it. I always toss around the idea that, hey, you want to take phone calls or do this or that. But I don't know. I like what we do. It's fun for me. So it's easy. I just stop recording and upload it pretty much. Just add a few things here or there. I don't edit much at all. So. But yeah, I think back of that stuff, and it was a lot of fun though. First night, my daughter bussed me about it because the first episode ever, I started editing around 10 o'clock at night, and she had to go to school the next morning. I was still editing.
Holy cow!
And I finished it because I didn't know how to edit. I was just learning on the fly, so I had YouTube open up on the one laptop, and I was editing on the other, and I was just learning how to do it from there. And it took me, from 10 to 7 in the morning. But I was so determined because I was so excited to get the first episode up. I was just like sitting there all night. I didn't even realize the time flew by that fast. And she's like, I got to go to school. But yeah, it's
You're like, hop in the car, let's go.
Yeah, I was like, ran her to school quick, ran back, and finished up then only 10 minutes to go. But yeah, man, it's crazy, isn't it? And that's when people then, like, when you call a driver up or you try to get an interview and they no clue what a podcast was. So is this on the radio? You get that all the time from people, and not sure how a podcast works. I was like, well, we record it and then edit it and upload it later. But, and the drivers liked that back then because they were just like, oh, cool. It was not so much pressure. You know what I mean? They thought it was live, But man, times have changed. And everybody knows what a podcast is now. So that's cool for everybody. It's not hard to, I spent first couple of years explaining what it was. So.
Yeah, you have like a frequently asked questions.
Oh, it was terrible. Like, I remember Tony P from Trinity is like, what radio? Because I was interviewing Ernie.
Radio station.
Yeah, he messages me, Tony P, and he's like, "What radio station is this on?" I'm like, and he wasn't joking, by the way. He may claim he was joking now, but he wasn't joking then.
Is this on ESPN, Gotti?
Yeah. And then Ernie wasn't even quite sure either. He's like, "What? How's this work?" So, but now everybody knows, so it's good. Wow, how did we get off on that? Something about I don't know.
We gave out some nice prizes during the last show. I remember that. I got a lot of stuff mailed out.
Oh, I still have
after that.
Yep, and I just got addresses for 2 other people. I got to send over to you here. So
okay, good.
But
I know all the other stuff we did. I think we had like the Nitro Challenge stuff, and or no, there's still a few things left from that. I think I still have Mayfield body and stuff over here. But yeah, a lot of stuff got mailed out.
Yeah, and people are posting them on the Facebook page, but I don't think like people see that stuff. Like I don't know. Like I never like they'll post if they post it on their own to our page. Like I have to go in, and I don't even notice it myself. I don't get no notification telling me anybody did it. So I go into my page, and I click on visitors post, and then that's how I see it. So I don't know how that shows up. If it shows up for other people on their timeline when someone posts pictures of the prizes or not. Like it's just I don't quite understand it. But so if you guys just send me the photo, with you in it, and I'll post it that way. I think more people see it then. I don't know how that whole Facebook. Here's another word trying to pronounce algorithm. Is that correct?
Yeah, algorithm.
There you go. Wow, I did it on my first try. Amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. So, because I noticed nobody really sees it, and I don't even get a notification that somebody posted on there. So, crazy.
Algorithm.
Man. I can't spell the word opinion. I struggle with that one. Oh, receipt is the big one I struggle with. I cannot spell that freaking word. Oh my God. I always put recipe.
Recipe. Yeah,
that word I struggle with so much.
There's some I struggle with too.
Ugh. Anyway.
There's some real tricky ones. Like cat, dog.
Yeah, that's not hard, Jason.
Oh.
Cat, K-A-T. Come on. Dog, D-A-W-G.
Dog.
So, Buggy Mania. Yeah.
Good race. I think we'll see probably another one down there. Like I said, I mean, we got the weather was like perfect, so they're going to be thinking that it's like, prime real estate, right?
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to hold it at the same time every year then. You can't move this event till like June in Florida. You'll die.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, when we race in the summer down here, yeah, you got to be cut out for that.
I tell you what, I went there last April and it was beautiful, right? And then I went back there in July, remember? And everybody's like, "Oh, you're going to die going there in July." And it ended up being hotter in Pennsylvania that week than it was in Florida. Florida was beautiful, like 90. Up here, it was 107. And I even took a photo of it back then. It was like of the weather, and they showed the 107 in PA, and freaking Florida was like 88. And I'm like, yeah, I picked a perfect week to go to Florida. It was amazing. Suckers. All my PA friends were roasting. I was at the beach and in the pool.
Did you go carry both times or just one?
Just one. Yeah, just one time, July.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to Treasure Island Beach Resort, buddy.
That's right. I remember we did an episode on it.
Yeah, I tried to get you down there, but I think you were at a race, but Allison was around. She thought about coming down because Carrie invited her. But
oh.
Her and Carrie would get along great, let me tell you. She's always like, too bad Allison doesn't live closer.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, Jason hires me. Yeah.
What I was one of the things I was thinking about is if that Roar National or the Roar Nationals, if it's still going to be going down in June as we schedule or as scheduled.
Up here?
Yeah, I mean that'll be. We need to do like a reunion tent out there or something.
Oh no! Don't make me set up the tent again.
Yeah.
Oh no! That's another thing. We had a freaking tent. That's another thing. A tent. I couldn't believe it. You're like, look at that motivation.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had all your magazines out there, like a big display.
I don't know. It was just wild.
It looked good. It was cool in the tent. I thought the tent looked good.
Yeah, we did a good job.
Do you got a picture of that still? I probably have a picture of it.
Yeah, I probably could ask Kirby. He could send it over to me. But and we had shirts. Kirby made shirts. It was like crazy.
Yeah, we need to. I remember him. He was rolling around on the track.
Yeah, well, yeah. He did a good job, though, man. Yeah, he helped with the tent and science. Yeah, we were like, oh, it's close to home. Why don't we go down there? And that was early on.
Yeah, it was good. I think it's time for a reunion down there.
Wow, maybe if we're allowed to, right? Might be in quarantine still.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, though. We'll have to think about that. So, if we're still alive.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, those were good times. And that was when we first started. So I figured that'd be a good way to get our name out there.
It was. I thought it was good.
And Live RC interviewed us. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Those were the days. Do you know when people say the good old days?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I always say that you're currently in. It's like, people say, oh, the 80s, those were the good old days. The 90s, oh, those were the good old days.
90s, baby.
Oh, you remember early 2000s, man? We were doing this and that, and that was the good old days. It's like, you are always in the good old days.
This is going to get deep.
But yeah, you're always in the good old days, but you don't realize it until it passes. So,
I don't know.
Because for me, I can think of things in the 80s that were, good old days, then in the 90s, and then, early 2000s, and then moving into, past 2010, I can think of good old days. So it's like, you're always in the good old days. It's just, you're in it at the moment, so you don't realize it till you're past. How about that?
I think I'm developing a headache trying to think about that. I think I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Man, the 90s.
There's some things that I really enjoyed about any of those decades, I guess, whatever we're calling them. There's a lot of things that were enjoyable, but then there's things I look back on and I'm like, God, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
What you really want is you want a collection of a time period of all your favorite things.
Yeah.
So if you could put all these things that you really consider your favorites or the good old days, and you could put them all together in the same era, that would be the ultimate.
I live in the past too much. My one friend's like, oh, I don't live in the past. I just create new memories all the time. And I'm like, lame.
It's like, well, tell me one from today.
It's about creating new memories. And I'm like, man, I still want to go back to the 90s, bro.
Yeah, I'd say, things that really stuck out to me back then was, just doing so much racing, but going down on the weekend, I'd go to Brett and Brad Ralph's house, and down in Tampa, and we would just wrench on our cars and go race on Sunday. So we'd practice all Saturday, redo them on Saturday night, and then Sunday we'd race. And and in between then you're having fun, watch TV.
Yeah, you just have care in the world, really.
Go out to eat, and it's just a really good experience, and doing that kind of thing. And hold on a second here.
Crack open a seltzer.
Got the first question. I just posted on Facebook asking for some questions.
Oh,
and
what a great idea, actually.
And
glad you did it.
Zeke's first question is Gotti going to be okay without TB12? Can I answer for you?
Go ahead. Sure can.
No. Hey, how are the Bulls been doing?
Fire those cannons.
How have the Bulls been doing without Michael Jordan?
What are you going to do? I'm not going to be okay. I appreciate if you guys check in on me.
Yeah. Going to have to be a lot of checking in.
There might be still some... Did he officially sign that? I haven't checked Twitter here in a while.
Yeah, I know. But you know what, though?
I'm holding out.
Here's the thing. How long is it really going to go? I mean, the guy's 42 years old.
Well, yeah.
How much longer can he really do it?
And he'll turn 43 before the season starts. So
yeah, I mean,
he wants to go to 45. He already said. So it's a 2-year contract, and that's it. So they got him for 2 years. And listen, don't underestimate the Bucks. They do have an offense. They have weapons. And believe me, Brady thought this over. Now, there is some things, and I don't know if he signed recently. What is it here? It's 7:38 p.m., March 19th. As far as I know, he still hasn't signed a contract. And there's 3 things holding it up. 3. And one of them was Tom Brady wants Antonio Brown on the Bucks. Don't ask me why. They have this weird little relationship going on. I don't understand it. I realize AB is a great player and all, but all the trouble he's causing is just... So anyway, the head coach, Bruce Arians of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, says, no way, we don't want him on the team. We don't want Antonio Brown here. And I think that's what's holding it up. That and I don't know what the other 2 things are, but now maybe he's signed as now. I'm scrolling through here to find out, but there's still hope. There's still hope that Robert Kraft can do something like he did with Josh McDaniels when he was going to be the head coach of the Colts. And then the last second, Josh McDaniels pulls right out and he's back with the Patriots. I would like him back in the Patriots for 2 more years and then go from there. But what you going to do, right? What you going to do? Go Bucks.
So Justin Doyle's asking,
oh no,
that special edition podcast. He seems so worried for somebody that never leaves the house.
Well,
you're worried for everybody else.
I am worried for everybody else, and there's a lot of people, family and everything else. So yeah, a lot of relatives over in Italy. So yeah, it is concerning though. Don't want to get back on this. I promised you guys I was trying to keep this upbeat, but man, it's just, you can't avoid it right now. I don't know. Just something weird about it. Hey, Jason, I've done a lot of research on this thing too. Like I'm all over the place. You know how I am when I want to find out about something. I'm like,
oh yeah, you're all over.
I'm digging for articles and I'm watching YouTube videos and I'm watching all the press conferences that Trump and all those guys hold. And I don't know. I just can't get a finger on this thing. It just seems like it spreads way too fast. I don't know if everybody's being completely honest. I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and to be honest with you guys, I don't know what to believe. Just something weird about how it spreads. And is this a biological weapon? I don't know. People threw that around. When I did the podcast, they messaged me and they're like, well, this is the reason why. And I've read all that stuff, but I don't know. We'll never know, but let's just hope we can get through it.
Then we got Joe asking, why don't current sponsored drivers know how to be sponsored?
What was that?
Why don't current sponsored drivers know how to be sponsored?
So he means like their attitude or something? Or
maybe like yeah, I'd say part of that. Maybe also you could be alluding to maybe helping people, maybe just understanding that the reason you sponsor somebody is that you're getting something in return. That's what sponsorship is about, is that you're actually when you sponsor somebody, you're supposed to be receiving some promotional value out of that. That's the whole idea. Okay. So I think that's probably another thing that he's talking about.
Oh, you mean okay. You're saying your team, J Concepts, is supposed to get something out of sponsoring somebody.
Well, we're supposed to get something out of it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the promotional side, you're saying like you're sponsoring me to go out racing your products.
Yeah, they're supposed to be, they're your ground sales team, right?
Absolutely.
That's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be.
That's what it was called back in the day. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of something he's alluding to. What I see with people is, even though you say it and you tell them these types of things, they're still seeing it how it helps them. And I think that what they need to be able, and then there's people that understand it. You know who I think, and then there's others. I mean, the way he's kind of phrasing this is like nobody understands it, but I don't think that's. I think there's people that get it still. There's people that are good at it. One of them is, I see guys like Jackson Brunson, who he's only been racing maybe 6 years, and he's come up through the ranks quite fast, but I see him doing a lot of the work. He's probably considered a millennial. And he does a lot of, he does a lot of work, a lot of preparation. And he helps people, I've noticed, and he represents, his brands, and he writes race reports on Facebook. And I see him trying to do the right thing. So I don't think it's everybody. It's just some people are very selfish, and they have a hard time getting around that it's not just about them. And I think that's really what it comes down to. And there was selfish people when, in the 90s that I raced with, they were sponsored, but they were very selfish about it, and not doing all the right things. And you see other guys from this generation that are good at it, and there's some people that are bad at it. So, yeah, I think it could be. I think the manufacturers could also do a little better job of explaining to a lot of the drivers what it really is all about.
What they're actually supposed to do. Yeah.
It is. I mean, our contract and everything states what you're supposed, states things. But I think a lot of times people don't go through all that. They don't read it all.
Read. Too long, didn't read.
Words. I got Danny Mac asking if we're going to consider J Concepts brand face mask and gloves. He's asking for a friend. No. Although, we got April Fools coming up, and so could be a fun little joke. Although nobody would think it's a joke. Well, there people would be, but we got Jackson checking in here. He's still asking about your TB12 news. Everyone knows that this is a hard thing for you. We get that.
I'm posting crying gifs.
Yeah, it's just crying straight down the board.
It is.
We got Joe, our old buddy here, Joe Zaire Jr., right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got his own podcast.
He does.
He likes, he does a lot of racing, I believe, he's calling it Region 7. I think he's from Minnesota. He's into a lot of, we'll call it mixed martial arts, right? He does a lot of that. He talks, I think that's...
Oh, does he really? He thinks he knows martial arts, huh? Yeah. Last time I called a kid out on martial arts when I was in 3rd grade, he kicked the shit out of me. Anyway.
Yeah, I have a feeling that could be the same thing.
So yeah, Joe has the Ran Out of Talent podcast. Go check that out.
Is that his? Ran Out of Talent?
Yep. That's Joe's.
So he's asking, do you think this quarantine will revive the stadium truck class? A lot of trucks being built in Region 7, and I might join them.
That's interesting.
No, I don't think so.
Oh man, I love that class.
Dude, I started in stadium truck. It was great.
It's awesome.
But they're not anymore. They suck.
Why? Why?
I don't know. They don't work.
I think they look so cool. I know they don't look real, but I mean, they look cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've never looked what they're supposed to look like.
It looks badass though. I love it.
They are cool, but for some reason the trucks just don't work like they used to. Like,
really?
Back when I used to race it was they worked so well. They were better than buggies, but I think when they lengthened the buggies, they got them wider, and the concentration of the tuning and everything is based around buggies. They're just so much better. And I don't know. It's just when truck went to mid motor or from rear motor and then lay down, they just have not, in my opinion.
Okay. They lost something.
It just hasn't been the same. Like, I think like the T4 generation of trucks was like the last really good working trucks, whatever the low C equivalent was, triple XT CR or something. So
wow.
Yeah, I just don't see that class being the savior. There might be some people building them, and getting them going in Region 7, which is great. I mean, I hope it is. I hope it does help. I just don't think that's the next big thing. I really think that we just need different track conditions. I think it's fine to have the indoor carpet racing and all this kind of stuff. And I think we make great cars for that type of surface. But I think in order for a lot of things to regenerate themselves, we're going to need more of these backyard race tracks and people starting kind of fresh. The tracks and conditions you can work on, and it's not all just based around building the car to drive with all this traction. It would be, I think it enters more people into the business when we race in these other conditions. So I think that would be the big thing that could really, really help. And right now is a perfect time. People could, if you have some friends, get together and build a track and start running. And I'll guarantee you people will start joining in but don't get out of control. Build it 100 by 50 or, 110 by 50 or something close to that. So you can work on it. It's manageable. The driver stand isn't crazy. Just make a nice backyard club track and start running. Build nice layouts, manageable tracks, not crazy jumps. You can have great jumps, but just don't make them, crazy. And I think more and more people will start joining you. I think they will. Justin Doyle, he wants some Pops Rona quotes about the current pandemic. You know what? He's still working, and I haven't really sat down enough with him to hear any good quotes from him about this. But, I will say that him and my mom seem more worried about it than I would have thought. But I think with their age and they hear about it affecting people that are older, I think that kind of that bothers when you're in that generation. You're in your 60s and 70s. I think that bothers you a little bit, right?
Oh, absolutely. Bothers me now. I'm 45 or 46. I am now. Sorry. No, let me go back. 45. I want to go backwards. I think it's scary, man. It's 10 times more deadlier than the flu. So yeah, there's every right to be concerned.
Justin's talking to you about something here, about launch the J Concepts online tour.
What? Me?
He tagged you here, something. Then we got a Rob. Of course, does Kirby have enough beer to last with Pennsylvania shutting down? Ooh.
Man, I don't know. But let me tell you, the liquor stores, they don't call them liquor stores. The fine, what do they call it now? Wine and spirits.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, you can't call them liquor stores anymore. They shut down. I think it was yesterday at 9 p.m. Done. And it was absolute chaos at the store, at the liquor stores. It was chaos. Chajos. There was just people everywhere stocking up. Meanwhile, I went out to get seltzer. There was plenty of seltzer on the shelves. I couldn't understand that.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, surprisingly. There was a lot. So I got a bunch of seltzer here, man. I'm good to go.
We got Chris Blank asking when our Clodbuster steering kit and new chassis is going to be available, and it's in the queue. We got a lot of the chassis parts are already ready. Some of the aluminum parts are ready. I'd say we have about 70% of it, and we're waiting on the rest. We've gotten a lot of questions about this, which is kind of neat.
On the Cloudbuster?
Yeah, people are wanting these, this chassis kit we're doing, the regulator, and we have a cool steering
regulator
kit. Bound up. So, yeah, and it's coming. I don't have a specific date, but with all this, I hate to use it as an excuse, but all this virus stuff is having an effect for sure. It's probably delayed us a month, but we're kind of on the plus side of getting this, getting the stuff out. So, like I said, we got a lot of the parts are already finished, and we're waiting on some things. It's going to be two separate kits. There's going to be the regulator chassis kit, which is a little bit easier to put together and install on a stock Clod. And then the steering kit is a little more I'd say for the advanced, got more the advanced builder, that which all these guys usually are because they're so used to modifying their stuff. So it'll be two separate things, and the parts are kind of complicated because you kind of have to wedge things in and together differently than, when you're starting from scratch. You can make things design wise much more simple, and but when you're kind of designing around something that's existing, sometimes you have to do some things that don't quite follow the normal engineering guidelines, so they get a little wacky. Some of the parts get a little wacky, and it makes it a little more difficult to build and machine. But it's happening. It's happening. I told somebody that the goal was to have it out this month, but I think it's going to spill into April. That's kind of what it's looking like at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's been a fun project. I mean, at this point, we almost have, because we've been working all this stuff here and there, we almost have an entire clodbuster modeled up in the computer. It's getting close anyway. So it's like, you make all these things, and it'll be, while we're designing this part, we might as well design this part, and we might as well design this part. And then pretty soon you almost have everything designed in the computer. So it's been kind of fun. We got John Bolton asking if any of the pros are practicing during this time of no racing. Yeah, some of them are. I think you'll have guys like, Ty Tessman, Spencer Rivkin. I'm sure you'll see them still running quite a bit and getting their practice in. Mayfield, probably not as much. Mayfield doesn't really like club racing 10 scale. He likes running 8 scale.
Oh.
So, like, if he goes to race, he usually likes to go to a Tony Schumacher's track. The thing is called the Nitro Compound, and he'll run there. He likes to run his 8 scale stuff. So I would say probably next week, I'd expect to see Ryan out doing a little 8 scale running, and I'd say Spencer will probably, as there's some tracks that are open for 10 scale, he'd probably go run, but if not, maybe he'll go and run an 8 scale track or something. It's hard. It's difficult. I mean, these guys it's essentially like, these other people that, their main job is to race RC cars, and races sports are getting canceled. Yeah, it's exactly like that. And races are getting canceled. So they're not really able to do what they get paid for.
Yeah.
But this is a time where, if you go back up to, Joe's statement, why don't current sponsor drivers know how to be sponsored? These pro guys, I think, they're in a position where they can kind of make a difference if they want to. They can get out there and do some more tips, and they can help people and, build new cars. And there's a lot of things that people can do, racers can do.
Start a podcast.
Yeah. We got Enzo, and this is kind of pretty much what we just talked about with cancellations in the race schedule because of this virus. Is how is this impacting pro drivers and companies? We just talked about the pro drivers. I think you'll see the diehard guys that practice and test all the time, that do it all the time anyway. I think you'll see them continuing. Guys that kind of go race to race and prepare race to race, you'll see them probably doing something similar. Mm-hmm. We just talked about how Mayfield and Spencer and the guys probably will do it. The companies, I think everything's still so new. We're still only a week or two into this whole thing. In terms of stuff starting to get shut down, that we don't know the full impacts on the companies yet, but it will have some impact for sure, because people, I think, and what's really unfortunate is things were really starting to get rocking.
Yeah.
Things were really starting to get rocking, and a lot of confidence out there. A lot of things were really starting to build, and we had a really fantastic year started and going, and we really kind of hope to continue. So it's we got a lot of projects out there that we're working on, and things for these new emerging classes that we've been supporting, like drag racing and scale trucks and crawling and monster trucks. We're supporting all these different avenues, and so all this stuff is having an impact all down the line. But the thing that's really just, I think, is the surprise of the last couple years is RC drag racing.
Yeah, that's
the pop. This thing, and it's just blowing up. It's blowing up. It's the hottest. It's probably the trendiest thing going.
Wow.
Associated is going to have the first car out.
Oh, are they?
Production called the DR10. And this, I don't know. I don't really want to. Well, I will toot my own horn a little bit. But a couple years ago, I sent Associated this stuff to say that I was like, hey, I think you guys should consider getting into this. It wouldn't be that difficult to convert a vehicle you have into doing this, and there's nothing out there. And it's kind of when we got in it with, one of our drivers, JD Crow, talked to me about getting into it. We got into it. We were in with bodies, wheels, and tires. We were first from the tire and wheel standpoint. And now it's just gotten so, a lot of the companies now have jumped into it, and it's a full battle in that market. And new bodies all the time. We got a bunch of them, and Associated's going to have that kit soon. And they just had a cash race in Vegas recently, where I think the entry fee was $100, I believe, and it was kind of, I think it was winner take all. So they had whatever it is, 40 guys. And the guy that won $3,800 cash.
Oh, wow. I'll take that, please. Thank you.
It was pretty cool. And the guys that were telling me that have been and done this kind of racing, which I don't know if that type of racing really suits my personality all that much.
Drag racing?
No, not drag racing,
but
money racing.
Oh, money. Yeah.
Kind of the put up or shut up kind of stuff, where there's a lot of people that are attracted to that are also kind of assholes, I guess.
Right.
And
well, anytime you get money involved, it's not.
Yeah, that's the part that really. That's the part I don't like. But if people are cool, and it's not this you know, uh, in your face type of atmosphere, then I'm totally cool with it. Like I'd like to do it. Um, do I want to sit there at the starting line betting money on, like, I don't really do it for that, I guess. So, but a lot of people do. They like that. And they like that idea that there's an unknown. And there is something to be learned from all this. And kind of going back to what we talked about earlier with, with all the stuff about the tracks and only allowing 10 people. And there is something to learn by all this. And there's some notes or things that we can kind of use. So I think this drag racing is another thing. We're going to learn a lot from it. And these showdown type events for money and the Vegas thing and the, $3,800 cash being on the line. And the reason it has success is because because it's unknown as to who the fast guy is. You don't really know. It could be you. It could be this other guy. Like, you just don't know. So I think the anticipation or that idea that you could be the fast guy and the guy that wins the money is what's attractive about it. And, as much as, we like the pro racing scene and off-road RC racing or whatever, you just kind of know it's going to come down between 4 or 5 guys. You already know before you even go what, where it's going. In this kind of racing, even I think it's just like the monster truck racing. You can win or lose against anybody at any time. So I think that's what the draw is to this is it's much more open in terms of wins and losses, and this. So we're going to see this. This is really going to expand as this associated car comes out, and there's going to be other cars right behind them. From what I understand, I think I've heard Traxxas might have something, maybe even Losi. So this is going to hit pretty big. And it's just it's been fun to be on the, we got started in this game right at the beginning, and with, JD Crow kind of getting us in, and we've had some fun with it. And I think this is going to keep building for a little while. And it'd be interesting to see how these, the events for that start to go. And it's not just events that, people are just doing this for fun. They're building them, make it look cool. They go outside and they just try their own personal bests.
Wow, that's amazing. Interesting. I know there in the early 2000s, I think we were getting into drag racing at Trinity. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what happened in between there, the mid 2000s. I don't know if it just kind of died off for a while or if it kept going. I don't know.
What ruins these things is when the cars. What's been successful about this is it started with taking vehicles that are already out there and turning them into drag cars, very inexpensive. So when we started, we had a Traxxas Slash and a Bandit was 2 of their cars, and we combined them to make this Street Eliminator car, we called it. And it was something that Fred worked on with JD Crow, and we called it the Street Eliminator. And it's based off of an inexpensive platform of probably the most widely sold RC car of all time, which is the Traxxas Slash. So that's why it's doing well. If people start just thinking that everything has to be carbon fiber and aluminum, and now it's a $1,600 chassis, and you know what I mean? Like, that's what's going to ruin it. What's going to be nice about it is if you can preserve this entry-level side of the Street Eliminator chassis and layout creation, and then people can kind of compete with those. And I think that's what will maintain, you know, the racing, the class, the drive, these kind of like far outlandish, and they're not really that far out, but all these cars that are just carbon fiber and aluminum and foam tires and all that stuff, like that stuff's been around a long time, and I don't think that's the answer. It's a production-friendly car that hits a price point that you can upgrade a little at a time, but stay in a window of what's acceptable and in the rules. I think that's what will be. That's what will serve the thing the best purpose. And so and what happens with all these things is they kill themselves. So, but the key is good entry price point, question, or I'm trying to think what the simple platform, inexpensive replacement parts, all those type of things is what really is going to make it work. So a lot of stuff going down. Oh, what I was going to mention was, is there any we can pick somebody for a giveaway? I got all kinds of stuff.
Oh, sure. You want to pull up the?
I should go look for what we're going to give.
All right, go
away.
ahead. I'll pull this up.
Okay.
So head on over to patreon.com/Radio Impound, and for as little as $1 a month could put you in running for these prizes that Jason is currently bringing to his desk. What kind of goodies did Jason find? We're about to find out what he got us.
All right.
All right, there he is. He's back.
I got some good stuff.
Oh man, I was just saying that you find some cool prizes, stuff that you do I want to say prototype stuff that you?
Yeah, we have been. Yeah, recently I've been giving away some things. I have a box where I have some of the very original 3D printed prototype J Concepts tires and things. I've been adding to some of the giveaways, and which are really cool because they're definitely one-off things, and a lot of them are so old that they're also some of the beginnings of 3D printing.
Nice.
So that's kind of neat. So I've been giving some of that stuff away, but what I got here was I'll send you the picture.
Okay.
But I got 4 bodies and a tire.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
giving away 5 prizes. See, we're not just doing 1, people. We're doing 5. Jason's unloading the warehouse.
So we got this is one of our test bodies, our Street Eliminator test body is a 67 Chevelle. The all yellow 67 Chevelle. That's one of our test bodies. So we'll autograph that big guy, and then we'll put a.
Oh wow!
We got the Street Eliminator rear tire on a prototype chrome wheel.
Oh, okay. Yep, I see it there.
We'll have that. Then we got a body that was donated from J.P. Richards, bottom left when he ran for J Concepts. We can throw that in there or as another giveaway. And then in the middle, we have a photo body when we did an S2 for the TLR car. That's a custom painted and decaled body. And then we have a Spencer Rivkin S2 body that I usually, like if I have a brand new body, like the one in the photo here, before I ship it, typically I'll cut it out and put stickers on it.
Oh.
So like I've done that quite a bit with like some of my own stuff and other people's like stuff because it looks better when it's like cut out and got decals on it. So I usually like trim it out, and if it's brand new, I'll trim it out and put decals on it because stick it one graphics and decals. He helps us out with decals, so I try to get him.
And Stick It One Racing, you can go there and get the RIP logo from the drop-down menu. So those are the items. I can post that photo later.
Yep.
Check your Patreon messages also, guys. So I'll just message you through there if you want a prize. Hopefully you're listening to the podcast and hear your name, which people do. They're like, hey, I heard my name on a podcast. So that's proof that people are listening.
Proof is in the pudding.
I usually wait like a couple days to see if anybody messages me, see if they listen to the pod. And it's pretty good success rate, to be honest with you.
Good.
So, yeah. All right. I got all the names pulled up here on the spin wheel that I do here through the computer system that I have.
Got a special program doing an algorithm. While you're doing that, we got Mike Garrison was asking that. Listen to that.
James Cotlet. James Cotlet wins. What does James win? What was the first prize there?
The Street Eliminator body.
Street Eliminator body. Congratulations, James.
And he was one of the ones we just hooked up with a real fat prize pack.
James was?
Yeah.
Oh, well then maybe we shouldn't allow James to win. That's awesome. Well, James, there you go. Look at that. Your donation's definitely paying off. Damn. So we have different tier levels, and whatever your amount that you donate, that's how many times your name's on the spin wheel here. So James loaded up. So thank you very much, James. I really appreciate the support, man. That is awesome. All right, so he wins the street spec not street spec.
Street Eliminator body.
Street spec. Man, that was back in the day. That was huge, as Trump would say, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here now, what's up now? Here, what's going on here? Which one you want to give away?
Now it'll be the tire. Will be next. Street Eliminator tire with prototype chrome wheel.
Sure hope all these guys are in the United States.
Yeah, that's up to you.
All right. And the winner is... I can't pronounce your last name, Jason. Jason Cunard? Cunard, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Jason C-H... I'm butchering his last name. So your last name, Jason, is spelled like this. Chouinard. If that's you, Jason, you won a prize from Jason Ruona. 2 Jasons there. All right, up next.
It's going to be the JP Richards Yokomo body. Actually, it's a J Concepts body, but it was on his Yokomo.
And around and around and around it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Oh, we got to check here. This is Randy Pike. And Randy always, and when Randy's name comes up, I will say this: Randy donates his prize. So we will check with Randy and see what he wants to do. Randy Pike.
Okay.
Good old Randy. We haven't heard from him in a while. So, but yeah, I will contact Randy, and then he'll probably say, like he usually does, can you donate it to someone else? And we do. So, but Randy, you may want to take it. So, all right, what do we got now? So that's prize number. That was prize number 3, wasn't it? So we got 2 more, right?
That's right.
All right, I am set here. And this one, what was this one now?
This one is our photo body for the TLR 2-wheel drive buggy. It's S2 body, so Nice.
All right.
It's really cool looking.
All right. There we go. That's not coming over too loud, is it? Round and around and around. And the winner is Chris Purcell? Purcell. Or it might be Purcell, maybe. Chris Purcell. Congratulations. You are the winner
Of a photo shoot body. Looking good.
All right. Next.
And the Spencer Rivkin body is next.
Spencer Rivkin. Spin the wheel. Man, what's with these? Jazz 6104. Jazz 6104. Longtime supporter of the show. Well, thank you very much for the prizes, Jason. That was awesome. And for everybody supporting the pod, downloading, listening, sharing with your friends. Show Jason some love at jconcepts.net. And we will catch you on the next pod. Stay safe, everyone.